Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. This is a sponsored video. A beautiful man paid me $50 to cover the most recent earnings of Hyliion, my favorite fart huffer company. And if you want a sponsored video, you send me $50. See the pinned comment at the conclusion of this live stream. You send me $50 and I talk about whatever you want. Yes. And if you're a member, you get $5 off. It's $45 for a sponsored video for a member. So join the membership and give me money. Thank you. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So this beautiful, handsome man had some questions. Do a video on Hyliion, latest 10Q report. We need to cover the Carno generator. I'm so bullish on Carno, bro. This stock's gonna 50x. Provide some insights as to why they're using the following terms in their 10Q report. These are not present on previous 10Qs that they are posted. Well, okay, so they have ASC 280 segment reporting, ASC 820 fair value measurements, and ASC 606 revenue from contracts to customers. Now, I know boring. I know everybody's bored right now. They're all going to click away. I don't care. Sue me. So I can tell you right now, the reason that they're finally covering revenue from contracts is because they didn't have freaking revenue before now. Now they have to talk about revenue because they're finally getting revenue. Apparently, we'll see. But these are just basically like accounting guidelines, accounting guidelines that kind of prescribe how you report certain things. There's basically a set of rules that you have to follow so everything is consistent across companies reporting earnings, at least in the United States under GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles. So segment reporting, all that is just if you have multiple lines of your business, like let's say you have a business that sells cars but also does financing. Well, those are two different segments. So that kind of breaks out how they would report their segments. I don't know what Hyliion's other segment is, to be perfectly honest. I thought they were just doing the Carno. Did they find a new grift? I don't know. Fair value measurements, it lays the guidelines for how you determine what value you put for an asset on the balance sheet. Fair value is just the market price of an asset, and there's different levels. For example, what's the fair value of my home? Well, there's similar homes all around me, so I could use a comparison. I could look at how much the home next to me sold, and that tells me how much, my home is worth. What's the fair value of NVIDIA stock? Oh, I can go look on the stock exchange. So there's certain assets that you can easily see what their fair value is because it's on an open market. There's other assets that are harder to determine, like what is the fair value of my scrotum? I don't know. How do you determine that? So there's different levels of fair value that basically it's the lower you go on the totem pole, the harder it is to actually determine what the value of that is. You can see what the value of NVIDIA is, but for my scrot, what's the value of my scrot? I don't know. Okay. I'm sure there's a way you could value my scrot. It's probably priceless, but that's all that fair value measurements are. So these are just like accounting guidelines, basically. So, all right, let's go ahead and dive into the earnings. Hyliion Holdings reports second quarter 2025 financial results. Hyliion, a developer of modular power plant technology. I thought you made fart trucks. What happened? Oh, wait, it failed. Today, finally reported financial results. All right, here we got the Carno. Let's see what's going on with the Carno. So the Carno is basically a generator that was sold to Hyliion by General Electric that can run off all sorts of power. So poop juice, fart juice, whatever. You can run basically anything. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it's a flexible generator, and it's apparently the future, bro. Carno power module qualifies for 30% investment tax credit under the One Big Beautiful Bill, recognizing its role in advancing U.S. national energy. Oh, yes. Without the Carno and Hyliion, we would be having rolling blackouts daily. Production resumed with delivery of second U.S. Navy early adopter unit. Oh, a second one. And with 2 additional Carno power modules nearing completion. Successfully transitioned all linear electric motor production in-house. improving throughput and supporting 2025 deployment targets. Confirm resolution of regen depowdering challenge. Wow, what? What is this? And redesigning critical regen part to address performance. Signed a $1 billion memorandum of understanding. So it's not even a contract. What is this? Oh, does this just mean that we might give you $1 billion maybe in the future with Al Khorayef Industries as part of the Saudi-U.S. commercial agreements, with initial deployment targeted for 2026 in Saudi Arabia. Please cancel it, Saudi Arabia. Awarded a contract for up to $1.5 million. Wow, you finally... Is this revenue? What? For Hyliion? Reiterated delivery of 10 units in 2025, with commercialization shifting to 2026. Record revenue of $1.5 million. This company has been trading, God, for at least 4 or 5 years at least. I remember this clown company like in the clown market. Oh, it's the future, bro. It's Hyliion. Oh, hydrogen trucks. Yeah, how'd that go? Record revenue of $1.5 million. And it's just like a long shot. They're basically just depending on a government contracts and the Saudis, apparently. Into the quarter with $185 million in cash. God, you clowns gave them so much money. An expected year-end balance of $155 million. Okay, so in 6 months, they are expecting to burn, what, $30 million of cash? God, this company just devours cash. What's Healy's salary? Adjusted revenue forecast, $5 to $10 million from $10 to $15 million due to expected product commercialization in 2026. Okay, so they adjusted their revenue forecast down. Wow. All right, so they talk about the tax credit. Carno commercial updates. Hyliion has resumed producing Carno systems, including delivery of its second early adopter Carno unit to the U.S. Navy. Stop enabling this company. I'm going to call Trump. I'm going to write him a letter. Both units are undergoing testing at the company's Cincinnati facility. Oh, they're still testing it. And to identify opportunities for design and system enhancements. Hyliion is also nearing completion of 2 additional Carno. Wow. So this company's been around and they made like 4 generators. And they're just farming money through salaries. I need to start a company, just pay myself an exorbitant salary and never generate profit. I'm a CEO, bro. In addition, they were awarded a phase 2 small business innovation research. Yeah, they're grifting off the government. Valued up to $1.5 million to advance its research and development work for the U.S. Navy. Yeah. This contract will focus on developing software that manages and synchronizes cores within a multi-megawatt Carno system. The U.S. Air Force has also designed the Carno power module as an awardable technology. This is all stupid. Okay. They signed a strategic, I guess that's memorandum of understanding, outlining a potential $1 billion opportunity. God, what a freaking joke. All right, let's look at the financial highlights. Record revenue of $1.5 million. Wow. Cost of sales was $1.4 million. They have a gross profit? What? They made a profit from the sale? I'm in shock. With a gross profit of $131,000. No revenue was recorded in the second. Oh, wow. So they went from 0 revenue to $1.5 million. Wow. Look at that explosive growth. Operating expenses totaled $15.8 million. They made $1.5 million of revenue, and their operating expenses were $15.8 million. So they had a gross profit of $131,000 and then expenses of almost $16 million. Wow, mega profits. The increase was driven by higher R&D. The increase reflects expanded additive manufacturing activity and higher costs. This company needs to go bankrupt. Please, God. SG&A expenses were $6 million. Net loss was $13.4 million. Year-to-date revenue was $2 million with a gross profit of $143,000. So their gross profit margin is what? 7%. Mind-blowing. Cash used in the second quarter was $13.5 million, including $4.3 million for capital expenditures. The company continues to expect full year 2025 cash outlays of $65 million. God, I'm going to be so pissed if the Saudis bail this company out. This increase reflects tariff-related costs. Oh, it's the tariffs, bro. They revised their revenue guidance down with a delay of their commercialization of the Carno to 2026. Oh, a delay. Shocker. Oh, God. What a freaking joke. All right, let's look at their financial statements. All right, so they made money. Research and development just grifted off the government. Gross profit of $131,000. R&D expenses of $10 million. SG&A, selling general and admin, of $6 million. And a slight gain from exit and termination costs. What are they being paid for people to quit? God, I'd pay Hyliion to quit working for this company. Loss from operations of $15 million. What is that, like a negative 1,000% margin? Oh, but they have interest income from their treasuries, bro. Look at that interest income. They have more interest income than revenue. For a net loss of $13 million. All right. So they got cash of $15.5 million as of June 30th, 2025. Accounts receivable of $1.1 million. Wow. Prepaid expenses of $4.7 million. And short-term investments of $92 million. That's where most of the interest is coming from. Property, plant, and equipment. They've added, depreciation obviously probably factors in, but they've added almost, $6-7 million of property, plant, and equipment. It was for such great returns. And then long-term investments, significant drawdown. I don't know if that's treasuries or what that is necessarily, but they recorded a pretty significant decrease in long-term investments. Let's see. Do they have any crazy debt? They have short-term debts and leases. So no crazy debts on there. So far, this company has lost $180 million cumulatively in its lifetime. All of its assets have come from stock issuance from you morons. Cash from operating activities. Let's see. Share-based compensation. $2.6 million of share-based compensation. The shares are worthless. Should be zero. Carrying a value adjustment to assets held for sale. Carrying value adjustment to assets held for sale. It was a subtraction. Okay, so they did some kind of write-down for assets held for sale. With cash burn in 6 months of $23 million from operations, plus an additional $11.5 million of capital expenditures. God, this is so bad. And they paid $532,000 for taxes for settlement of equity awards. Yeah, I would cash those stock options in and immediately sell and get out of this company. What a freaking joke. Do they have the 10Q in here somewhere? Let's see. Quarterly results. SEC filings. 10Q. Let's see if I can pull up revenue. What was it? ASC 280. Okay. Company operates as a single operating segment. Yeah, I didn't think they had other segments. Okay, so that it's just basically explained that they only have one primary business unit, which is the fart generator, the P-Power generator. Fair value measurements, ASC 820. Clarifies that fair value is an exit price, representing the amount that would be received to sell an asset or paid to transfer a liability in an orderly transaction between market participants. As such, fair value is a market-based measurement that should be determined based upon assumptions that market participants would use in pricing an asset. Level 1, quoted prices, so like stocks. Level 2, significant other observable inputs, like selling a home next door. And then level 3, which is total nonsense, significant unobservable inputs. So basically level 3 is I pulled it out of my butt. Okay, and then the last one, ASC 606. The company, this reminds me of the CPA exam. I miss this stuff. The company follows 5 steps to recognize. So basically, how in accounting, how it works is you don't record revenue just because you got cash. You record revenue when you actually perform a service. So if you pay me up front to cut your grass 5 times, and I'm using the accrual basis of accounting, let's say you pay me $1,000. Every time I cut your grass once a week, I recognize $200 of revenue. I don't initially recognize that $1,000 of revenue. I recognize it ratably over the period as I perform the grass cutting, either with your grass or with your wife. So that's kind of how accounting works. Okay. It's like, it's based on like underlying transactions, not necessarily when cash is received or paid. That's the accrual basis of accounting. It's about what's actually happening, because you can get a bunch of cash and you haven't done anything. You haven't made any revenue, because technically you'd have to give it back if you didn't do it. So that's all that is. Okay. So that's Hyliion. Wow. Very impressive. Very impressive. All right. Let's do some member comments. All right. Somebody called me a clown. Strawman, you become my de facto online personal financial. I'm a financial advisor, bro. Just buy large cap tech, bro. Thank you for continued service to my trading account. Now let's all get rich. Thank you. I know all my stock tips have been wonderful. Well, take an hour to start the. Oh God, you have to be a female. Why are booze stocks dipping? Is it because you black pilled so many normies? No one wants to go. Oh, well, people, apparently the younger generations aren't drinking as much, and that's not a bad thing. Why is Tesla ripping? Because it's a clown stock. Neuralink will destroy every economy there is when a man can insert it in his brain and have a mansion lifestyle. Neuralink is another joke. I almost fell off my chair. Good. Hope you never get up. Just kidding. Everyone act normal. This is a paid video. Thank you. Revenue is extreme. Yeah, who needs revenue? Who needs profits? Oh, negative 1,000% operating margin. Hot guy Leon. Hot guy Leon. I'm a hot guy. Hot guy. We prefer the term guy for Jeremy. They may put the Carno generator in a truck to power. Or how about an engine? Dex, I think you're going to make a great marketer. Taint. Marketer pump boy at your service. Your scrotum is worth at least. No, it's priceless, sir. It's priceless. Okay. From these loins, I can create superior human beings that will guide humanity into a bright future. Dex, how much per pound? Oops. Jumped around here. Pounds. Hyliion submitted for another patent on the Hypertruck in April 2024. Oh, yeah. They're just holding on to it. How is this company still a thing? Well, a bunch of morons bought the stock and basically it fortified their balance sheet. And now Thomas Healy can pay himself a salary for another couple years. Excuse me. Another couple years. The future doesn't need revenue. Who needs revenue? Debt is magical. National debt keeps growing, being unprofitable. That's a good point. I didn't think about it that way. Debt makes the overlords immortal. Why someone buy a company like this when you can buy Palantir and NVIDIA? Oh, yes. Yes, go ahead. Minimum payments. Bravo. The real welfare. Yeah. You just grift off the government, bro. Welfare is the only proven way to help the needy. Also, it is a fraudulent resistant system. Yes, welfare is the future, bro. It's not going to go bankrupt. It's going to, I hope it does. I hope it just vertical lines for no reason. Buy the dip, bro. I buy $400, $300. You're buying $300 a week of Hyliion? What is wrong with you? That's $300 you could put into your IRA. Stop. Put into an index. Hyliion, my Hyliion. Stock market is so easy. Just go long when Strongman hates. I don't know what the stock is. Please tell me what they do. I explained it. They have a generator that supposedly is going to change the future. And yeah, that could be true. I think VT it is very noble. Thank you, good sir. I'm the king. I'm the emperor of VT. Ask not what a stock can do for you. Ask what you can do to pump the stock. Everyone should listen to Strongman. You're being nice now. What's going on here, Mr. H93? Did you have a change of heart, or are you being sarcastic? Noble is boring. Yeah, Grift is more entertaining. VT and T-bill should be the only two assets someone buy. That's a very good portfolio. I like that. VT and T-bills. That's a beautiful portfolio. There's no UBI. We already have UBI. It's called tax credits for poor people. All right. Well, that was a sponsor video. Like I said, $50 for non-members, $45 for members. See the pinned comment. It's all there. It's a link tree. You click it. It gives you instructions. You send me the money. I make the video. Have a wonderful, delicious night. Cheers.